Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Ravvy of Ravvy Plays Games, and today we're taking a first look at Sizzle and Stack, a restaurant management card game. Players open ingredient card packs looking for the right mix to discover new recipes and serve their customers in a timely fashion. While the orders start out simple, things can get chaotic pretty quickly. Let's jump into some gameplay followed by a rundown of my favorite parts of Sizzle and Stack. This is not my first playthrough here in this footage, so you can see I've got other recipes unlocked in my recipe book. I'm not just starting with the initial fried egg. But even on repeat playthroughs, you're still going to just basically have egg dishes on your first day of serving customers. Things don't get more complicated until a few days in. Give it time. I would occasionally miss when I was trying to click on a card and accidentally end up clicking on the table, and I was trying to drag the card. So what you just saw right there was me accidentally dragging the table, so I had to drag it back into place. I really enjoy the look of the different customers. They're so adorable and quirky, and they're so vivid and colorful. It's really fun to look at. I say colorful right as a gal just in black comes on the screen. But you know what? She's her own vibe too. That customer on the left wants a cheese omelet, and the recipe for a cheese omelet, as you can see on the recipe book, is egg, pan, and cheese. Unfortunately, despite opening multiple packs, sometimes I just can't find the ingredient I need. There we go, we finally got the cheese we need, so we'll be able to make her cheese omelet after that fried egg is done. The other issue is right now we're waiting on one pan, and that pan doesn't cook too quickly. Let's take a quick look at the information up in the upper right of the screen. So when you see that number over 10, that's how many cards I have on the table. There is a 10 card limit at the end of the day. Anything in excess of that, I will have to sell down to be able to progress. The value next to that is the number of coins that I have. The pantry card packs that I've been buying to try to get the ingredients I need cost 5 coins each. So I'm having to do some card management and selling some of the cards on the table onto that sell slot in order to afford more pantry card packs. I'm not having a lot of luck getting ingredients, but that means I have a lot of excess ingredients that I'm not using that I can sell to try to get coins back to buy additional card packs. I successfully completed the day. My star rating for my restaurant went from 2 to 2.24, and I satisfied 8 out of the required minimum 2 customers for day 1. I'm just having to sell down to reach the card limit, and then I get my daily report and I can go in and purchase upgrades. While I take a look at the different options that are available, it's like an additional pan, a knife, a garbage bin, I really want the kitchen expansion. However, I don't have the 10 satisfied customer faces. That's apparently a currency that you can trade in at that shop for the upgrade. So I'm gonna have to do another day and generate more happy customers. I did receive a free gift. It's a supply box. The supply box lets me place a ingredient card on it, and it will slowly generate duplicates of that over time. That can be handy for an ingredient that you need more of than you're seeing in your card packs. You just kind of have to adjust that and play by ear. Since I need to make a lot of egg dishes, I chose to put an egg in the supply box at this time because I was getting a lot more flour, sugar, and cheese than I was getting eggs. As we take a look at the missions, we can spot there is a request for a garbage bin from the upgrade shop. If you remember, that was something that was going to cost me 7 satisfied customer faces. So I'm going to also need to include that in my calculations and not keep running straight for the table expansion option every time. Let's do a little time jump and head to the end of day 2 and see where we're at. Overall, day 2 was a pretty strong day, and we are going into the end of the day with 9 satisfied customer faces. That will combine with the 8 that we had left over from yesterday that we didn't spend, so we'll have a total of 17 available to spend in the store. With the garbage bin costing 7, we will still have 10 that we can go back and pick up a table expansion. So that's a pretty good buy at the store for the end of day. We received a friendly little reminder in the form of a card that our rent is due in 2 days. We also had something go bad on the table, so lucky for us that we picked up that garbage bin, right? Alright, we've jumped ahead again in day 3. We've jumped to about the halfway point when I finally got the ingredients to fulfill the pancake order that I've been working on for a while, just trying to find ingredients. Now at this point, we encounter the bun. That's a whole new section of the orders that are going to start coming in, and so things are about to get complicated. The recipe for a bun is combining milk and flour to make dough and then cooking that in the pan to make a bun. The recipe for the omelet that the other customer is wanting is an egg and milk combined in the pan. I have been having trouble finding milk, so I'm just now starting to get things coming together. But a whole big chunk of the day has gone away just with these 2 orders sitting there unfulfilled. I finally got another milk, but I decided to put it in my supply box to duplicate, even though that's a slow process, just because I'm having such bad luck obtaining milk through the card pack process. So I continue to sell overstock of cards that I have excess of, and I purchase more and more pantry card packs in my never-ending search for milk. Even though it felt like I was behind most of the day and not serving enough customers, I did manage to meet the minimum requirement of 3 satisfied customers to successfully complete day 3. At this point, I have to do even more cleanup and selling of excess cards just so that I can progress to the next day. Unfortunately, that sends me to the store with only 9 customer satisfaction points, not enough for a kitchen expansion, so I pick up an extra pan, hoping that the ability to cook more things quickly will potentially benefit me on day 4. Day 4 brings even more adventure with a 3rd customer at the counter. The food truck card packs are available, and that means we're going to start seeing new recipes, using new tools and new ingredients for hungry customers. I was so focused on the addition of the food truck recipes being added in that I failed to notice the free gift down in the lower right corner that was waiting for me for a little while. I received a cupboard. One great benefit of a cupboard is that the items that are stored inside it do not count toward your card limit at the end of the day. I made the mistake of not checking the recipe for a new item on the menu, and I kind of assumed that the chicken burger would be prepared similar to the hamburger based ones, and I cut up some chicken. That got me stuck a little bit until I went and checked the recipe and learned that I just need to use fried chicken for the chicken burger. I ended up wasting some precious time. I was finally able to serve the chicken burger customer and was getting some steak cut up and processed to make a cheeseburger when a basic burger customer walked up to the counter and I still didn't have additional steak. This is going to get problematic. Somehow I made it to the end of day 4, but now rent is due and I have a mess of cards to clean up on my table. Lucky for me, I have some open space in my cupboard. I've unlocked some additional options for upgrades, but with just 12 points available, I opt to spend the 10 on a kitchen expansion. We've now arrived at day 5. Our garbage can has come in handy. Some food did rot on the table. And we've got my 2 pans in action. I'm going to do my best to keep up with customer orders today. Unfortunately, I've started day 5 with no flour available on my table, and all 3 orders require flour. The burgers need it for the buns, and the fried chicken needs it for the coating of the fried chicken. So it's time to start playing the open card packets frantically looking for the ingredients I need game. Wish me luck. I did manage to get a couple of flour ingredient cards, but I still need 2 more for the current orders on the board, and I need 2 steak ingredient cards. I have 0 of those. Once I get the steak ingredient cards, I have to cut the meat and then mince the meat, then cook it into burgers, then build it into the hamburgers. So I have a lot of steps ahead of me, and day 5 is halfway over already. I'm torn between wanting to take the time to organize my workspace so that I can find things, and thinking I don't have time to organize my workspace. I probably could have hit the pause button. I keep forgetting that there is a pause button and that I am allowed to use it in this mode. Oops. Well, as you can see, my luck with ingredient packs and my slow mouse moves are leading towards a customer satisfaction failure. But that's alright, because this is a great time to wrap up this first look at Sizzle and Stack. As for the look and the feel of the game, I am a fan. I like the art style and I really enjoy the vibe with the customers that are full of character waiting for me to sort out their order. The soundtrack is pleasant, and while it is repetitive, I didn't find myself bothered by that aspect. Mostly I appreciated the steady, peppy beat that kept me energized while working on orders. I like that you can discover recipes by finding recipes inside the card packs or discover them on your own through experimentation. I feel like the ramp up in recipe complexity and customer demands is pretty good, though it is rough when you get to a point where you need a lot of one or two ingredients and you just aren't seeing them in your card packs. This is generally where I end up not meeting the minimum satisfaction quota and having to start over. I hope that they will allow you to buy bulk flour, milk, or other high-use staples at some point, rather than trying to obtain them via the packs. One of the other aspects that would get me in trouble is that occasionally I would miss a card with my mouse and try to move it, and end up moving the whole table. I'd spend a lot of time fiddling to get the table back into place. I'd love the option of locking the table into position. If the table eventually grows larger than the screen, even having a keybind that could toggle locking it on and off would definitely be helpful. A cool feature of the game is that once you unlock a recipe, you get to keep it in your recipe book for future attempts. That makes sense, since repeated games are pretty much the equivalent of the player trying a new restaurant and bringing what they've learned so far with them. Though it would be cool to have the ability to start a fresh save with no recipes if you wanted to do a clean run through. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at Sizzle and Stack with me. It's definitely a game I plan to revisit now and then to see how far I can make it. I'll put a link to the game's Steam page down in the video description below. Leave me a comment to let me know the best run you've had. How many days did you get through? And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons to see more of my first look videos. Until next time, take care of yourself, be well. Bye for now, from Ravvy at Ravvy Plays Games. See you soon!